Hi everybody, this is Rebecca Keppel. I am super excited to be here on ThermOWeb's YouTube channel. I am super excited to hear about the collaboration between ThermOWeb and Rina Designs and this new Electro-Pop neon inks and glitz, the Sweet Stuff collection and the Sending Sunshine collection. So I'm going to show you a little bit of everything. Okay, I am going to take one of the stamps from Sending Sunshine. It's a flower stamp, and first I'm going to stamp out the Raging Red. So I'm just going to show you what each of these stamp out like. Just remember, these are like a dye ink, so they will fill in and smooth out over time. So what you're seeing right now is just how bright and colorful the inks are. They will kind of fill in the gaps, except for this one there. That was user error. I just kind of messed up the stamping. But I just want to show you how bright they are. They are absolutely brilliant. They're so much fun. I think these are going to be great, especially this summer when I bet a lot of the collections coming out will have neon colors. Just a guess. So this is, let's see, we did Raging Red, Poppin' Pink, Orange Glow, Hello Yellow, Loud Lime, that was Screamin' Green. Now this is Blaring Blue. And the last one is Potent Purple. So I am going to show you the glitz colors that come next to the inks. So we had Hello Yellow down there, Poppin' Pink, Screamin' Green, and Orange Glow. And the glitz can be used with the stencils. This is the stencil for Sending Sunshine collection. You can see it's got a dot pattern. It's also got some layers that you can do on top of the stamping. Okay, so the other collection is called Sweet Stuff. It's got kind of that cone stencil area, and then all of these stencils here can go on top of the stamp layers. So there's frosting for the donuts, sprinkles for the donuts, there's layers for the ice pops, and some like frosting for the cupcake, things like that. Okay, so this is one that I used the stencil from Sweet Stuff, actually. No, I used the stencil from Sending Sunshine and then used some glitz. This one I also used the stencil from Sending Sunshine with the iridescent glitz that will be coming out, and then used some glitz on top of the stamps. And here's another version that I did, and we're going to make a version of that card in a different color combo. So first I am using the Blaring Blue and the little sprinkles stamp from the Sweet Stuff collection, and I'm just stamping it all over a 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch piece of white cardstock, and I'm going over it a couple of times. I want these to be pretty close together so that it looks like it's a bunch of sprinkles in the background. So we're basically making our own pattern paper with neon inks and a sprinkle stamp. So I do want to overlap so I don't have those big open holes for the donut there. I want those to be all filled in so that it looks like a complete sprinkle background. And that's what you achieve by just going over it just a bunch of times until you get it to where you like it. And once that is done, I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to set it aside. And now I'm going to do some of my stamping. So this is that ice pop there. I'm going to stamp it in Blaring Blue, and then I'm going to stamp it in Screaming Green. And this ice pop can have a second layer from the stamp or a second layer from the stencil. I'm going to use the stencil. I also did the cupcake. I decided to stamp the top of the cupcake as well, and then I'm going to layer it over with the stencil too. Okay, I want to show you what the glitz look like when it dries. It dries dimensional and glittery and the color. So now I'm going to show you how easy it is to put on. This is the Screaming Green, and I'm going to use a palette knife. Normally with any of these glitz gels, I use ThermOWeb's Stencil Pal, but for this tiny little area, I just want to use a little bit of this glitz glitter gel, so I'm going to use my palette knife. I'm going to do the same thing with the cupcake here. Again, I did that over the stamped image. This way I get a little bit of a layered look. You can see some of the blue peeking out from behind. And for these ice pops, I am just going to fill in the open areas there using, this time I'm going to use Hello Yellow. And you don't need very much. You can be stingy with this if you want. You can have it be thicker if you like it thicker. That will be dimensional. That will take a little bit longer to dry. If you do it nice and thin, it can dry within an hour, which is really nice. So the next thing I'm going to do is take my 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch background panel, and I'm going to just use some ink blending of Distress Oxide inks that match the color palette that I am using. So I have Squeezed Lemonade, Twisted Citron, and Mermaid Lagoon. And I'm just going to blend these out just for a pretty background that's a little more subtle than the neon. So the neon will still stand out really well. But these colors are pretty close, I think. If this were a more neon color, it would look the same. I have a donut here, and I'm going to stamp For My Sweet Friend with Versa Fine Black Onyx ink on top. And I did forget to stamp the little popsicle sticks, so I'm going to go back in with the Orange Glow and stamp those. You can see on the bottom one I didn't leave enough room to stamp the whole stick. That's okay because it's going to be layered underneath the top one. Okay, so I'm going to use some Gina K Designs dot roller adhesive, and I'm going to put that little sprinkle circle that I did die cut down over our ink blended circle. Now I'm going to use some Gina K Designs for ThermOWeb foam squares, and I'm going to use that to pop up my donut sentiment for my sweet friend. Then I'm going to go back and forth between dot roller adhesive and foam squares so that some things are flat to the card and some things are popped up. Now, normally I would flip this cupcake over and put the foam square on, but my glitz is still a little wet. I was rushing this and I really wanted to show you guys how I put this card together. So I am putting everything, the adhesive down on the card, and then putting these elements down on top. If you have a little more patience than me, you can let them dry and then flip them over and put the foam squares on. Next, I am going to take the Sheer Satin Fancy Ribbon by Gina K Designs for ThermOWeb. This is a white ribbon with a silver edge to it. And I went back and forth. I wanted a bow at first. Then I decided I just wanted like a knot with tails. So I did cut it short with just some tails on it. And I think that looks super, super cute. So the last thing that there is to do is take that dot roller adhesive on a top folding 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch note card and lay my panel right on top and adhere it down. And that's it. Super, super easy. I love the Electro-Pop neon inks. I think they're so much fun for cards. I think they have such a wow factor because they're so bright and beautiful. And the glitz on top, it really just looks like sugar. It's so beautiful. I think you're going to love the new neon inks, the new neon glitz glitter gels, and both of the Stamp and Stencil collections with this collaboration between ThermOWeb and Rina K Designs. And as soon as they are available, we will change the links in this video description so that you can grab them. I want to thank you so much for stopping by today. Have a wonderful day.